On a remote glacier deep in the Arctic Circle, young activists are calling on world leaders to act against the destruction of the environment.
I invite you, Boris Johnson, the French President Emmanuel Macron, Pedro Sánchez, Subsecretaria Marta Delgado, to join our wake-up call.
We will suggest bold actions you could take at the UN Biodiversity Summit.
About 10% of the Earth is covered by either glaciers or ice. They act as protective cover. The white helps cool the planet by reflecting the sun's heat back into space. But global heating is causing it to melt away.
We can hear these sort of popping, crackling noises, and that's the air bubbles being released from the ice as it melts, which is quite a sad sound, really, because we know this happens normally and naturally anyway, but we also know that glaciers like this are receding at a really unprecedented rapid rate.
But despite obvious warning signs, the international community has failed to meet any of its targets to stop the destruction of the planet. In 2010, more than 200 countries agreed to adopt a UN strategy to protect wildlife. 20 biodiversity targets were set. But for the second consecutive decade, according to a UN report, governments have not hit any of the biodiversity targets. Another report found that the global populations of mammals, birds, fish, amphibians, and reptiles plunged between 1970 and 2016.
We need to treat the climate crisis as a crisis. It's just as simple as that. The climate crisis has never once been treated as a crisis. And unless we treat it as a crisis, we won't be able to so-called solve it.
But despite previous goals not being met, on Monday, more than 60 nations made another commitment. The leaders pledged for nature. They pledged to put wildlife and the climate at the heart of their post-pandemic recovery plans. World leaders say the pledge is a turning point and show future generations they're taking the environment seriously. But the presidents of the US, China, and Brazil did not join the pledge.
While there are important world leaders who deny some basic scientific principles and who say such absurd things as to how, in fact, we might deal with them, it's rather a gloomy forecast. I suppose the best thing that could come out of it is that we would realize that we are all in it together and that we have to cooperate.
But it's not only stronger cooperation needed from world leaders to halt the rapid decline of wildlife. Governments need to pay more than lip service and actually follow through on their climate commitments. Natasha Hussain, TRT World.